First contact, final warning. The morning sun rose over Elysium 7's central dome, casting long shadows across the agricultural fields that stretched to the horizon. Nestled on a resource-rich planet in the Cygnus arm of the galaxy, the colony had flourished over its 60-year history. What had begun as a research outpost had evolved into humanity's most successful self-sustaining colony, home to nearly 2 million people. Dr. Maya Santos stood on her balcony overlooking New Alexandria, the colony's capital city. As chief science officer, she had helped develop the revolutionary terraforming techniques that had transformed this once barren world into a paradise. The city below hummed with activity. Transport shuttles zipping between buildings, commerce centers buzzing with traders, and children playing in the parks beneath the protective dome. Another beautiful day on E7, she said to herself, sipping her morning coffee. Her comm unit chimed softly. Dr. Santos, we've detected some unusual energy readings at the edge of our sensor range, said the voice of Tarek, her assistant. Define unusual, she replied, setting down her cup. Nothing in our database matches the signature. It appeared suddenly, as if out of nowhere. Maya frowned. Elysium 7 had the most advanced sensor array of any human colony, designed to provide early warning of solar flares, asteroids, or other natural phenomena. If something was registering as unknown, that was concerning. I'll be right there. By the time Maya reached the observatory, a crowd had gathered around the main display. Governor Ellis Chen stood at the center, his face grim as he studied the readings. What are we looking at? Maya asked, pushing through to join him. The governor pointed at the screen. They appeared 20 minutes ago. No warp signature, no conventional propulsion trail. The display showed multiple objects approaching Elysium 7 at incredible speed. Their formation was too perfect, too deliberate to be natural. Have we tried hailing them? Maya asked. On all frequencies, using all known protocols, replied Communications Director Prionair. No response. Governor Chen straightened his jacket. I've activated defense protocols and sent an alert to Earth, but at this distance, he didn't need to finish. Help from Earth would take weeks to arrive. How long until they reach us? Maya asked. At current velocity, less than 30 minutes. The observatory fell silent as the implications sank in. Elysium 7 had basic defensive capabilities, a shield system, and a small complement of defensive satellites. But they were designed to handle pirates or rogue asteroids, not whatever this was. We should evacuate, Maya suggested. Get as many people to the emergency shelters as possible. Governor Chen nodded, then turned to address the room. Sound the alarm. All non-essential personnel to the underground shelters. All military personnel to battle stations. The colony sirens began to wail, a sound that had never before been heard outside of drills. Across New Alexandria, citizens looked up in confusion, then hurried toward designated safety zones as emergency protocols activated. Maya remained in the observatory, watching as the objects grew closer. They resolved into ships, massive vessels of unknown design, sleek and predatory. Their hulls gleamed with an iridescent black material that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. They're decelerating, Tarek said, his voice barely audible over the alarms. Entering orbit. For a brief moment, hope fluttered in Maya's chest. Perhaps they were simply visitors, curious about human civilization. Perhaps this was first contact with an advanced species. That hope died as the first energy beam lanced down from the lead ship, cutting through the colony's shield as if it were paper. The beam struck the main power facility, and New Alexandria plunged into darkness. Get me a status report, Governor Chen shouted as emergency power came online. Shield generators are down, responded the defense coordinator. Main power grid destroyed. Defensive satellites are not responding. A second beam struck the spaceport, vaporizing the evacuation ships that had been preparing for launch. A third hit the communications array, severing Elysium 7's link to Earth. They're targeting our infrastructure, Maya realized. methodically eliminating our ability to escape or call for help. The attack continued with terrifying precision. Each strike was calculated, deliberate. This wasn't random destruction, it was execution. In the military command center below the city, Colonel Marcus Reed watched in horror as his defensive options disappeared one by one. "Launch all fighters," he ordered. "Target the lead vessel." Elysium 7's small defensive force, 12 fighters and 1 corvette, rose to meet the alien armada. They were brave, skilled pilots, but they might as well have been children throwing stones at a tank. The alien vessels didn't even attempt to evade. One by one, the human ships disappeared in flashes of light, their weapons having no effect on the alien shields. "We need to send a final message to Earth," Governor Chen said, his voice hollow as he watched his world dying around him. "They need to know what happened here." Maya nodded, leading him to an auxiliary communication station. With trembling hands, she bypassed the colony's standard protocols, directing power to a quantum entanglement transmitter, an experimental device not yet approved for regular use. "This is Governor Ellis Chen of Elysium 7, he began, his voice steady despite everything. "We are under attack by an unknown alien force. Our defenses have failed. The colony," his voice cracked, "the colony is lost. They showed no mercy, no interest in communication. They are methodically destroying us. Earth must prepare. What happened here will happen to you if you're not ready. This is not a fight we can win alone. Activate the Reckoning Protocol. It's our only hope." The transmission ended as the building shook violently. The aliens had begun targeting the underground structures. Maya looked at the governor. "What's the Reckoning Protocol?" A sad smile crossed his face. "Something I prayed we'd never need. My brother helped design it." The ceiling collapsed before he could explain further. On Earth, in the underground command center beneath the Pacific Ocean, Admiral Katerina Chen sat motionless, staring at the holographic display showing her brother's final message. Around her, the Joint Defense Council waited in silence, allowing her a moment to process her grief. Finally, she stood, straightening her uniform. "Play it again." They watched once more as Elysium 7's final moments were recorded for posterity. 2 million lives snuffed out in less than an hour. Her brother's final plea: "Activate the Reckoning Protocol." "The aliens left no survivors," reported General Ibrahim. "Our long-range telescopes confirmed total destruction of the colony. They've already departed the system, heading toward the inner colonies." Admiral Chen nodded, her face betraying no emotion. "Projected course. Based on their current trajectory, they'll reach Earth in approximately 3 weeks. Their technology, far beyond anything we've encountered before. The energy output of their weapons alone exceeds our most advanced systems by an order of magnitude." The room fell silent again as the implications sank in. Humanity had spread to dozens of worlds, but Earth remained the heart of their civilization. If Elysium 7 had fallen so easily, what chance did they have? Ellis was right. Admiral Chen said finally, "We need to activate the Reckoning Protocol." The statement sent a ripple of tension through the room. The protocol had been theoretical, a contingency so extreme that many had argued against its very existence. "Admiral," began the United Earth Defense Minister, "the Reckoning Protocol was never meant to be implemented. The resource allocation alone would what?" Chen interrupted. "Bankrupt us, strain our economy. My brother and 2 million innocent people just died. More colonies will follow unless we act now." She approached the central console, placing her palm on the scanner. "Computer, this is Admiral Katerina Chen. Authorization, Chen Delta 79 Omega. Initiate Reckoning Protocol." The system hummed as it processed her biometrics and voice pattern. Then, a synthetic voice responded. "Authorization confirmed. Reckoning Protocol initiated. Warning: this action cannot be reversed. Proceed." Katerina looked around the room, meeting the eyes of each council member in turn. None spoke against her now. Proceed, she confirmed. Across Earth and throughout the solar system, dormant facilities began to activate. Deep beneath oceans, buried in mountain ranges, hidden in asteroid belts, places carefully shielded from detection for decades. Red warning lights bathed the faces of startled personnel as they received activation codes they had trained for but never expected to use. In Earth orbit, massive hangar doors disguised as natural features on the Moon's dark side began to slide open. In the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter, hollow rocks revealed their true nature as construction facilities. On the moons of Saturn, frozen seas parted to reveal launching bays. Admiral Chen turned to face the council. Ladies and gentlemen, as of this moment, we are at war. The enemy has shown us who they are and what they intend. They believe they caught us unprepared. A grim smile crossed her face. They're wrong. On screens throughout the command center, images appeared of ships, thousands upon thousands of warships in various stages of readiness, hidden away for decades as part of humanity's ultimate insurance policy. For 50 years, we've been building in secret, Chen explained, every nation contributing resources, technology, and personnel to create a fleet like nothing the galaxy has ever seen. We did this because we knew that one day we would encounter a species that wouldn't be interested in peaceful coexistence. The defense minister stared at the displays in awe. How many? When fully activated, the Reckoning fleet will number 700,000 warships, Chen replied. From fighters to dreadnoughts, each equipped with technologies we've kept hidden from public knowledge. And the crews? Someone asked. Volunteer sleeper corps. Military personnel who agreed to cryogenic stasis, ready to be awakened when needed, plus automated systems for ships that don't require human crews. General Ibrahim shook his head in disbelief. All this time, right under our noses. Secrecy was essential, Chen replied. Now we have 3 weeks to awaken the fleet and prepare for battle. The aliens believe they're hunting us. They don't realize they've just woken a sleeping giant. She looked once more at her brother's frozen image on the screen, his final desperate warning to Earth. This is for you, Ellis, she whispered. We're going to make them pay. The awakening of steel. The vast underground chamber beneath the Mariana Trench echoed with activity as thousands of workers rushed to prepare the Pacific Division of the Reckoning Fleet. Similar scenes played out across Earth and throughout the solar system. A massive mobilization hidden from public view for decades now thrust into urgent action. Admiral Chen walked along a gantry overlooking the flagship, a colossal vessel 3 kilometers long that had been constructed in complete secrecy. The Redemption represented the pinnacle of human military engineering, incorporating technologies that most of humanity didn't know existed. Status report, she asked as Fleet Commander Tomas Rodriguez joined her. Awakening procedures are at 63% across the fleet, he replied. The cryogenic revival of crew members is proceeding faster than expected. Weapon systems are online and being calibrated. The only bottleneck is the quantum drive integration. We're looking at another 48 hours before all ships are fully operational. Chen nodded, watching as technicians swarmed over the hull of the Redemption, making final adjustments, and the other divisions. Luna Division reports 70% readiness. Mars Division at 65%. The Outer Ring installations are lagging at 50%, but that's expected given their distance. We need to be at 100% in 10 days, Chen said. The enemy will reach the Jupiter defense line in 2 weeks. Rodriguez hesitated. There's another issue, Admiral. The United Earth Council is demanding a briefing. They're concerned about the scale of the Reckoning Protocol. Chen's jaw tightened. Politicians, even with an existential threat approaching, they worried about procedures and oversight. Tell them I'll brief them in 6 hours, she said, and have the Redemption ready for a demonstration. They need to understand what we're facing and what we're capable of. 6 hours later, the 30 members of the United Earth Council filed into the observation deck overlooking the underground sea where the Pacific Division was being prepared. Their expressions ranged from awe to shock to outright anger as they took in the massive fleet below. "Admiral Chen," began Counselor Diaz, the representative from the South American Federation, "would you care to explain how such a massive military operation has been conducted without proper oversight?" Chen activated a holographic display showing the destruction of Elysium 7. The counselors flinched as they watched the colony's final moments. "This is proper oversight," Chen replied coldly. "This is what happens when we're unprepared." The Reckoning Protocol was authorized by this council's predecessors 50 years ago, following the Proxima incident. Each subsequent council has been briefed on a need-to-know basis. A fleet of 700,000 warships goes well beyond need-to-know, countered Councillor Williams from the North American Union. The resources alone were allocated through black budget programs approved by this very council. Chen interrupted. "Every credit, every resource, every person involved was accounted for. You just didn't ask the right questions." She manipulated the hologram, showing the projected path of the alien fleet. "In 13 days, they will reach our outer colonies. In 21 days, Earth. You've seen what they did to Elysium 7. Do you wish to debate protocol, or would you prefer to survive?" The council chambers fell silent. "I thought so," Chen said. "Now, if you'll follow me, I'll show you humanity's salvation." Back in the command center, strategic planning continued around the clock. The alien fleet, now designated as Harbinger Force in military communications, maintained its direct course toward Earth. Scout ships sent to observe reported that the alien armada numbered approximately 3,000 vessels of varying sizes, all displaying the same advanced technology that had devastated Elysium 7. "Their pattern suggests confidence," noted Strategic Officer Lin Wei, studying the holographic display. "They're not attempting to conceal their approach or vary their course." "They don't think they need to," Admiral Chen replied. "Based on what they saw at Elysium 7, they believe our technology is no threat to them. Which gives us our first advantage. Surprise," added General Ibrahim. "They have no idea what's waiting for them." The Reckoning Fleet represented technologies that humanity had kept hidden: quantum weaponry, phase-shift shields, gravitic propulsion systems that didn't require conventional engines. For 50 years, Earth's nations had publicly maintained modest, conventional space forces while secretly developing weapons that could challenge any threat. "We'll deploy in 3 waves, Chen explained, outlining the battle plan. "The first wave will be conventional forces, what they expect to face. When they engage, the second wave will emerge from hiding positions in the asteroid belt and the moons of Jupiter. The third wave will remain in reserve near Mars until we assess their response." "And if 300,000 ships aren't enough?" asked someone. Chen's expression hardened. "Then we send the other 400,000. This ends only one way with humanity secure." As the deadline approached, the colonies in the alien fleet's path were evacuated. Millions of civilians were relocated to Earth or secure facilities deeper in human space. The public was told only what they needed to know: that a hostile force had destroyed Elysium 7, and that countermeasures were being deployed. The truth, the full scale of the Reckoning Fleet, remained classified. Better for humanity to believe that their existing military was protecting them than to learn that their governments had been concealing such power for decades. 10 days before projected contact, Admiral Chen boarded the Redemption. The massive vessel hummed with power as final systems came online. The bridge crew, men and women awakened from cryogenic stasis just days before, worked with practiced efficiency despite having been asleep for years. "Admiral on deck," announced Commander Rodriguez as Chen entered the bridge. "As you were," she replied, taking her place in the command chair. "Status: all systems operational, Admiral. The fleet is at 96% readiness. The remaining 4% will be online within 24 hours. Chen nodded, studying the tactical display. The alien fleet had not deviated from its course. They remained confident, unaware of what awaited them. "Begin deployment," she ordered. First wave to forward positions, second wave to hiding positions, third wave in reserve formation. Across the solar system, warships of every size moved into position. The smallest were agile fighters, barely large enough for a single pilot. The largest were dreadnoughts, mobile fortresses carrying enough firepower to level continents. Between them were destroyers, cruisers, carriers, an armada unlike anything humanity had ever revealed to the galaxy. The first wave, consisting of Earth's publicly known defense fleet and newly commissioned vessels that could plausibly have been built in the time since Elysium 7's destruction, took position at the edge of Jupiter's orbit. This force, approximately 5,000 ships, was what the aliens would expect to face. The second wave, over 200,000 vessels, concealed themselves within Jupiter's radiation belts, among the asteroids, and on the dark sides of moons. The third wave remained near Mars, ready to advance when needed. As the hours ticked by, a tense silence fell over the command network. Sensor data streamed in continuously, tracking the alien fleet's approach. They had not altered course or speed, still unaware of the trap they were heading into. 8 days before projected arrival at Earth, the alien fleet crossed the detection threshold. Long-range scanners aboard the Redemption confirmed what the scout ships had reported. Approximately 3,000 vessels of various configurations, all exhibiting the same advanced technology that had overwhelmed Elysium 7's defenses. "They're scanning us," reported the sensor officer. "They've detected the first wave." Chen nodded. "As expected. Maintain position. All ships hold fire until my command." The alien fleet accelerated slightly, adjusting course to intercept the human defenders. Their formation shifted, spreading out into an attack pattern that had likely served them well against countless other species. "They're launching fighters," the tactical officer announced. "Estimated 500 small craft approaching our forward line." "Let them come," Chen replied. "First wave, defensive positions only. Do not engage unless directly attacked." The alien fighters streaked toward the human fleet, energy weapons charging. They expected the same easy victory they had achieved at Elysium 7, a brief, one-sided engagement against an inferior force. "They're in range," the weapons officer reported. Admiral Chen leaned forward in her command chair. "All ships, execute protocol revelation." Across the first wave of human ships, hidden systems activated. Conventional shields were supplemented by phase shift technology that had been concealed beneath ordinary hull plating. Weapon ports opened to reveal quantum disruptors rather than standard plasma cannons. The alien fighters fired, and their energy beams dissipated harmlessly against the enhanced shields. For a moment, nothing happened, as if the aliens were processing this unexpected development. Then their fighters regrouped, adjusting weapons and trying again. "Now," Chen ordered. "First wave, return fire." The human ships responded with devastating effect. Quantum weaponry tore through the alien fighters' shields, reducing them to fragments in seconds. The few survivors broke formation, retreating toward their main fleet. In the command center of the alien flagship, a being known as High Commander Vexthar watched in disbelief as the first wave of their attack force was decimated. The humans should have been helpless, their technology primitive compared to the Dominion's advanced systems. Yet somehow they had repelled the initial assault with minimal effort. "Impossible," he hissed in his native tongue. Their colony had nothing like this capability. His subordinate, Strike Leader Karazin, reviewed the sensor data. "The humans are using technologies we haven't seen before. Their energy signatures don't match our records." Vexthar's compound eyes narrowed. A deception. They hid their true capabilities at the colony. He turned to his weapons control. "Advance the main fleet. Show these primitives the full might of the Dominion." The alien armada accelerated toward the human first wave, weapons charging. They still believed they faced only the vessels visible to their sensors. Approximately 5,000 ships that, while more advanced than expected, could still be overwhelmed by superior numbers. Admiral Chen watched the alien response with grim satisfaction. They're committed to the engagement. All second-wave vessels, prepare to reveal. As the alien fleet closed to firing range with the human first wave, energy sensors detected a massive power surge throughout the Jupiter system. From behind moons, from within radiation belts, from asteroid clusters, hundreds of thousands of human warships decloaked simultaneously. The alien fleet found itself suddenly surrounded, outnumbered nearly 100 to 1. All ships, open fire, Chen commanded. The darkness of space lit up as the reckoning fleet unleashed its full power. Quantum torpedoes streaked across the void, phase cannons sliced through alien hulls, and graviton pulses disrupted their dry systems. The alien vessels, for all their advanced technology, had never faced such overwhelming force. On the Dominion flagship, alarms blared as sensors registered the true scale of the human response. Vexthar stared at the tactical display in shock as his fleet, the pride of the Dominion, undefeated in 17 campaigns against other species, began to crumble under the human onslaught. "Retreat," he ordered. "All vessels, disengage and retreat." But the humans had anticipated this. The second wave had positioned itself to cut off all escape routes, forming a deadly sphere around the alien armada. Ship after ship attempted to break through, only to be destroyed by concentrated fire. Admiral Chen stood on the bridge of the Redemption, watching as the battle unfolded. "Target their flagship," she ordered. "I want to deliver a message personally." The Redemption moved into position, its massive form dwarfing even the alien command ship. Quantum disruptors locked onto the vessel, but instead of firing, Chen opened a communication channel. "This is Admiral Katarina Chen of the United Earth Defense Fleet," she transmitted on all frequencies. "You attacked our colony without provocation. You slaughtered millions of innocent civilians. You believed us weak, unprepared. You were wrong." On the alien flagship, Vexthar received the transmission with growing dread. The tactical situation was clear. His fleet was trapped, outgunned, facing annihilation. "I offer you one chance," Chen continued. "Surrender your vessels and prepare to face justice for your actions, or be destroyed." Vexthar considered his options. Surrender was dishonorable, unthinkable for a high commander of the Dominion. Yet the alternative was the complete destruction of his forces. Before he could respond, a quantum torpedo struck the flagship's main drive, crippling the vessel. Emergency systems activated, but it was clear that the ship could no longer fight or flee. "Your time is up," Chen transmitted. "This is for Elysium 7. The Redemption's main weapon, a spinal-mounted quantum accelerator, powered up, targeting the alien flagship. The beam that emerged cut through space itself, bypassing shields and armor to strike at the very molecular structure of the target. The alien flagship disintegrated, along with the remaining ships that had clustered around it for protection. In moments, the pride of the Dominion was reduced to scattered atoms. Throughout the solar system, cheers erupted from the crews of the Reckoning Fleet as news of the victory spread. The alien threat that had seemed so overwhelming, so unstoppable, had been crushed in a single decisive engagement. Admiral Chen didn't join in the celebrations. Instead, she stared at the empty space where the alien flagship had been, thinking of her brother and the 2 million souls of Elysium 7. "Send recovery teams to capture any intact alien vessels," she ordered. "I want their technology analyzed, their databases decrypted. I want to know where they came from, how many more of them exist, and how to find them." Commander Rodriguez looked at her in surprise. "Admiral." Chen turned to face him, her expression resolute. "This isn't over, Commander. We've defeated their fleet, but somewhere out there is their homeworld, a civilization that thought nothing of wiping out our colony." She walked to the tactical display, expanding the view to show the galaxy beyond their solar system. "The Reckoning Fleet wasn't built just to defend Earth," she continued. "It was built to ensure that humanity would never again be threatened, never again be seen as easy prey." Understanding dawned on Rodriguez's face. "You're planning to take the fight to them." Chen nodded. "Humanity has been revealed to the galaxy in all its strength. We cannot return to the shadows. From now on, we dictate the terms of our existence. She activated the fleet-wide communication system. This is Admiral Chen to all vessels of the Reckoning Fleet. Today, we have shown the galaxy what happens when humanity is threatened. But our work is not done. Across 700,000 ships, crews listened as their admiral outlined humanity's new path forward. We will rebuild Elysium 7 as a monument to those we lost. We will study the enemy's technology and incorporate it into our own. And when we are ready, we will find their homeworld. Not for revenge, but for justice. Not for conquest, but for security. She paused, looking out at the stars that stretched endlessly before them. The galaxy now knows that humanity is not to be trifled with. Let them remember this day. Let them remember what happens when someone threatens our existence. Throughout human space, as news of the victory spread, citizens looked up at the night sky with new understanding. They had always believed themselves alone, vulnerable in the vastness of space. Now they knew different. Humanity had revealed its true strength. The sleeping giant had awakened, and the galaxy would never be the same.